Hello viewers, welcome once again to my page. As I promised you in my maiden post, from time to time I'm going to be showing you some tricks and tips on how to master some of the Microsoft Office applications, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint and what have you. Now, this will not only enrich upon your knowledge, we believe it is also going to improve upon your efficiency at the workplace if you happen to be working in an office where some of these applications are used. Okay, now we assume first and foremost that you already know how to launch the Microsoft Office application and how to type some text into it. So based on that, we can comfortably be showing you what we are going to be showing you. And then also, now from the introduction, from the time Microsoft introduced Microsoft Word or Office for that matter, the application has undergone through a whole lot of updates. If, for instance, in one update you were getting some of the tools to work with under the Home tab, you pick your tool and work with it, you could see that in some subsequent updates, in updates that came later, some of those tools are no longer where you were finding them. You have to manipulate through the various tabs before you can finally locate the particular tool you want to use. In order to save time in having to look for some of these things, we think it is very useful if you are able to find some shortcut ways of doing things. That is why today we have decided to take you through some very useful shortcuts in the use of Microsoft Word. And the shortcuts we are going to show you today are just three. The first is on how to increase and decrease your font size. The second is how to change your font cases. And the third is how to add subscript and superscript, that is bases and powers. Okay, without wasting much time, let's start with the first one, how to increase and decrease your font size. But before I can even show you how to do that, I need some text on the screen. That means that I will have to type the text, which is going to be time consuming and it will actually make the video very lengthy. Luckily, Microsoft has made it possible to be able to generate random text with which to do some of these things, to practicalize things on Microsoft Word and so on. Now, to get those random text, what I'm going to do is to type equal to rand, then open a close bracket and press enter. There I have my sample text to start with. Therefore, we are going to dig right in and start with the first shortcut, which is increasing and decreasing font size. Now, to increase and decrease font size, we all know that you first have to highlight the text. You want to increase or decrease the fonts. Then you come to the Home tab, you look for your font size, then you change the number as the case may be. But this is not what we are coming to do today. We are going to manipulate the shortcut to use in achieving this thing. Now, to do this, the shortcut we will need, let's go to our keyboard and see. We are going to be making use of the control button here, the shift, and then the greater than and the less than here. Those are the keys we are going to use. Now, the control, shift, and the greater than increases the font size, the text size. Control, shift, less than decreases the font size. Alright, so with that knowledge, let's go back to our Microsoft Word. Okay, so I already have my text highlighted. So I will hold down my control, shift, and be pressing my greater than button. You can see that the text, the font, the size is changing. When I am we're still holding the control shift. When I'm pressing the less than button, you can see that the size is reducing. The only disadvantage of this is that you don't know the size of you are setting the text to until you look at the font size, which will show you the size you are currently on. I hope you understand that. Okay, that is one. Now, the next shortcut is how to change font cases. Let me give this some heading so that we can easily use that to practicalize. Let me call it testing shortcuts. So let me center this. To center this, you simply press Control E. Control plus E, it will center it. Control R will take it to the right. Control L will take it to the left. Control E will bring it to the middle. All right, so this is our head. Now let's suppose we want to change the case of this head. So we highlight it. Now the keys we are going to use, let's go back to our keyboard. The keys we are going to use here is the Shift key and the F3. Shift and F3. Okay, so let's go back to our text. So now I have my text highlighted. I will hold down my Shift and press F3. You can see that everything has been changed to small letters. When I hold my Shift F3 again, you can see that only the beginning words have been made uppercase. Hold Shift and F3 and everything has become capital letters. So the Shift and F3 moves the text between three phases: small letters, initial caps, and capital letters. All right, that is that. I hope you understand that. Then the last part, the last shortcut I want to show you is adding subscripts and superscripts. That is less than bases and powers. With that, let me clear this text. Then type say letter O. Okay, let me use my first shortcuts of shifts and control shift greater than to make it bigger. All right, so suppose I want to add a power, let's say power 2 or base 2 to this O. That is the shortcut I want to show you. So let's go back to our keyboard and see the keys we have to use. Now to add the superscript and subscript, the keys we are going to use are Control Shift and this plus button near the backspace. Control Shift and the plus are near the backspace. Now Control Shift plus adds the power. Let's go and see. So now I have my O typed. So when I hold down look at the position of the cursor. Okay, when I press my Control Shift and then plus, you can see that the cursor has moved up a little. So when I press my 2, you see that the 2 is at the top of the O. All right, okay, so let me clear that. So to bring the cursor back to its normal state, I press Control Shift plus again. The cursor is now back to normal. Now let's say I want to add a base, let's say base 2 to this O. And this time around, we are not using the Control Shift. We are using only Control and the plus, leaving out the Shift. So when you press Control plus, you see that the cursor has come down a little. So when I press my 2, see that the 2 is at the bottom of the 0 of the O. That is how to add that. So let me delete that. To send the cursor back to its normal state, I press my Control plus split and plus again, Control plus, then the cursor go back to its place. So if for instance, I want to type say 30 degrees Celsius. So 30, I have my 30. Now the degrees is a 0 that is at the top, or O that is at the top of the 30. So to do that, I'll hold my Control Shift plus, the cursor has moved up, so I type my O. Then Control Shift plus, bring the cursor back to normal. Then I'll press my letter C to have my 30 degrees Celsius. Though these are the 3 shortcuts I wanted to show you. To get more of this, keep following my page, keep liking my videos, keep commenting. If there is any topic or any area you want us to concentrate on to show you how to go about them with ease, you can put that in the comment section. We'll read that, create videos on that, and post them in our subsequent tutorials. So thank you very much. You can also follow us on TikTok, enk.stan. As you can see the spelling on your screen, and you'll have a lot more to learn. Together, we will learn together. Thank you very much.